Hi, my name is Leanne Dick, and I've been a small group leader for a number of years at Lakeside. And Janet has asked me today to share a little bit about the 5 core values for spiritually healthy small group. Incorporating the 5 core values for spiritually healthy small group was a new focus last year in the women's group that Rita Hooper and I led. I sensed that God was challenging me as a leader to do some things differently, to be well prepared, pray and connect as opportunities presented themselves within the small group were good goals, but at times seemed to fall short of what God might desire from a group of Christians and seekers journeying together. As a result, we decided to put a schedule together where the study material or the focus on discipleship was not the only focus, but where we intentionally had weeks in between where we served and participated in outreach, worshiped, and fellowship together. Having the group review and complete the spiritual health assessment or planner is helpful at the start of a new small group, as it validates the idea that we can encourage each other in these 5 areas of spiritual health through our group process. Here is a sample schedule that we used. As you can see, we alternated our focus purposefully and had some blanks in the schedule. We asked the group to come up with their own ideas that they might like to incorporate into these sessions, with us providing a basic schedule where we could plug the opportunities into. As leaders, we did not have it all organized prior to the group starting, but did have some optional ideas that we also could contribute. As well, certain nights, like the fellowship nights, were organized completely by group members, like our craft night where one member hosted and had organized a fun night of making beautiful Pinterest coasters. All of us brought food and drink, and we had a great night of conversation, laughter, and encouragement. Allowing for time for ideas to percolate in the first few weeks of the group is helpful, and not having a rigid schedule gave a variety of people the chance to contribute. For some of us, leaders and participants who are slightly more type A personalities, this can be a challenge, but again, I think a good process as we see the Spirit of God move and direct. As well, Rita, my co-leader, faithfully reminded the group in person and through the email of the coming week's focus and the needed preparation. The group responded very favorably towards this new format, and our attendance was good. Our women especially seemed to be drawn into the nights where we provided direct service, like the Syrian refugees meal preparation night, and also another evening where we prepared in advance a meal for 75 to 100 participants of the Circles program. The Circles program is a community-based program hosted at Hope House for individuals and their families looking for mentorship and support to re-enter the workforce. Preparing such a large meal like that might seem like a daunting task, but after having the early cooking experience, which was organized for us, where we just showed up and the meal prep stations were all there, we were able to pattern our night in a similar way, and the cooking was done in less than an hour. We still had time for a cup of tea together, sharing a brief devotional and prayer. What a great night. Equally moving but different was our worship night focus, where every woman came prepared with scripture, music, poems, thoughts, or prayers that related to some important theme of worship in their lives. At the end of the night, we shared communion together. As a leader, it was in some ways more work or preparation, as it always is when you try something new. However, it actually was a very beautiful thing to see on each occasion as we shared and experienced more community than I've ever seen before in a small group. The biggest barrier for me as we moved through the sessions was my own anxiety and doubts that these activities would work out. Yet, as the weeks progressed, and as I confessed this to Jesus and my co-leader, I began to see that this would be an expected tendency on my part, and that it was also likely part of a spiritual battle. Satan wants to rob us of peace and joy, and I came to realize that I would rather trust Jesus for some of the unknowns than feel plagued with doubts. What a liberating experience, and hopefully a model to others in the group to go with the process a bit and see how God would honor our efforts. I hope you will consider the spiritual health of your group and ultimately yourself, and open up to experience God's blessings as you walk together, not only in groups, Bible study, or discipleship, but in intentional worship, service, outreach, and fellowship.